evening. Welcome to the Glazov Gang. Tonight, the all-star lineup of the Glazov Gang. Our first guest, Tommi Trudeau, host of Politics Tonight with Tommi Trudeau. And he is with his, I guess we could say maybe best friend.
Service rabbit.
Service rabbit, Mr. Snugglebun.
By the way, enough of you conservatives and your titles. You can just say liberal.
Okay, a liberal.
Champion of the people.
Absolutely.
Guardian of all that is right.
And we will get to that. Great to have you here. And back by popular demand, Morgan Brittany, conservative TV and movie star.
Oh my goodness. I'm so happy to be here.
And last but not least, also back by popular demand from his blockbuster appearance here last week, Michael Loftus,
yes,
the host of the Flipside with Michael Loftus.
It's awesome to be here. And
I know.
It's
Glazov Gang members, welcome back to the Glazov Gang.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before we move forward, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, how excited are you to be on the Glazov Gang, Tommi?
Well, when you consider that I'm so excited about being a thorn in your side, 90 on a scale of 10, Glazov.
Excellent, excellent. Morgan?
Oh my gosh, I am just busted because I'm so excited to be here, probably 110%.
Excellent, excellent. And what is the accent from?
That is a southern accent. I'm one of those redneck southern hee-haw people that you just love.
And see,
I had such a huge crush on you, by the way.
Oh my God.
Oh, you have a crush on Morgan?
Woo!
Oh, yes, when she was on TV.
When I was on,
okay.
oh,
Yes,
wicked.
yeah, still am.
And our audience needs to know that Morgan was Catherine Wentworth on the iconic television series Dallas.
That's right.
And you killed Bobby.
Bad guy, real bad guy, yeah.
And Michael, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to be back?
I'm 9. I'm coming in at a 9.
At a 9?
A
Okay.
strong 9.
Okay, fantastic. Look, before we go further, a lot of pandemonium outside. I mean, Michael Loftus, I mean, there was, what, 300-400 women out there going crazy. Some were passing out.
That was nuts.
We saw, Morgan, you saw,
I'm telling
he had to
you.
get a change of clothing. Some of them ripped off his shirt. I mean, there was the Elvis mania, Beatles mania. How do you do it? The women are just, it was pandemonium out there.
What I do in situations like this is I call my good friend Bono. And I'm like, Bono, what should I do?
Oh, gosh.
And he's like, because he's usually drunk and he's Irish. And then I hang up and I go in.
Well, see, this is going to happen to Tommi next.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you right now, he is the next Jimmy Kimmel. If you watch this show, it is amazing.
We're going to talk about his show.
Amazing.
Mr. Snugglebun does not like crowds.
Okay, now just a second.
I like how the service animal doesn't like crowds.
Now, just a second.
Service rabbits.
Tommi,
Service
can you
rabbit.
briefly explain, very briefly, to the audience why Mr. Snugglebun is here?
Well, you know what? I could say I need support among the conservatives, but the truth is, how can you hate someone with a rabbit?
So it's
How
like a
can you hate a
defensive.
person with
This
a
is
rabbit?
true.
And because Tommi is on the left, we've brought him here to have more intellectual diversity on the show. So he's our...
And I'm known for intellectualism.
Absolutely.
Because I was educated.
And now, so we're going to move on to the hot topics of the day, also to the serious topics of our time. But before we do, I'm so honored to have so much talent here. Last week, you did some incredible impressions, Michael, of Al Gore,
Yes.
Nancy Pelosi,
Oh.
It was on.
Mike Tyson.
Oh.
Before we move forward, can you do one of those again
Wow.
for Tommi and for Morgan and perhaps for the audience? That
I love
listen?
your Al Gore.
Yeah, do the Al Gore.
His
Do the Al Gore.
Al Gore. Well, I'm just, I just applaud anyone who has a service bunny. I invented the service bunny right after I invented the internet.
Oh my gosh,
Excellent.
yes,
Excellent.
I love it.
And Morgan, you just did an accent from the South.
Yep.
Oh, I have what I'd like you to guess
Okay.
which movie that this is from.
Okay.
So pay attention.
Okay.
Oh, a wed rose. How romantic. Come on.
Tommi?
Come on.
Oh, it's from Little Shop of Horrors.
No.
That's
no.
a good guess.
Michael?
Come on, Michael.
It's from a.
Come on.
Oh my gosh.
Come on.
What is that
a
from?
Red rose. How romantic.
We don't know.
It's a Mel Brooks.
Blazing Saddles.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, Michael got it?
I kept,
It's Lily von Stupp.
Oh,
Excellent.
yeah.
Okay, Michael.
I kept wanting to say Young Frankenstein, but I knew that was
it was
wrong.
Michael,
Blazing
you
Saddles.
get a point, the first point of the Glazov game.
I'm on the board.
You're
with
on the
Glazov
board.
game.
You're on
Yes.
the board. But before we move forward, what I really wanted, Morgan, was how you do the forget about it. Like the
Oh,
Bronx. Is it
oh.
the Bronx or the Brooklyn? Like the mafia when they tell you.
When you talk like that,
Yeah.
it's the Staten Island or the Long Island, whatever you want,
And
and
so-
you go, forget about it.
Right.
You know what, ISIS, you come over here, you forget about it.
Okay. Now, just like on Donnie Brasco, they were asking him when the FBI was interrogating him, what exactly does it mean? It can mean all kinds of things. Does it mean to forget about it? No.
No,
It
it basically means that if you say anything else, you're dead. It's over.
Oh.
Over, so forget about it.
Cancel.
So I should be afraid when you tell me to forget
That's
about it.
right.
So that's one
Exactly.
context sometimes,
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Tommy,
Yes?
Yes.
how about a great impression before we begin?
Well, let's see, a great impression. You have to watch my episode 2 because I do a great George Bush.
Okay,
So
great.
you got to watch episode 2 of Politics Tonight.
Okay, so let's discuss.
I'm not going to do it off the cuff.
Okay, fine. We're going to play a little clip later on in the show of Tommy's new show that he's launched. What is it? Politics Tonight?
Politics Tonight with Tommy Trudeau.
And what is
and George, on episode 2, 43rd President of the United States, George W. Bush is a special guest. Did you ever have Bush on? No, you didn't.
No, and
did you ever have any president on? No, you have not.
Okay.
Okay.
So you have a new show, and we're going to tell our audience about it and play a little clip later on. I always sound like we're
love
going
it.
to a commercial.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm
I
waiting
know,
for the
really.
commercial right now.
Okay, let's move on to some of the serious issues of our time. In the news recently, an NP3 high school, a public charter school in Sacramento, for the kids, had a Wear a Hijab Day.
Yeah.
I mean, the Muslim Brotherhood is what, grabbing our kids now in school? I mean, Michael, your take on this?
Well, beyond it being just insane. See now, okay, so you've got this Wear Hijab Day. So now you have to do all the other religions.
Hijab.
Right? Hijab. I don't even know. I can't say it.
Whatever it is.
Get a
is this the one-
hijab,
Do they
Michael.
get a hijab? Is this the ones the guys wear? Or this is the girls wear?
This is the one the girls wear, I think.
But,
Yeah.
you know,
Right. See, here's how culturally out of it I am.
Okay.
I don't even know how to say it. I don't know what it is. So does everybody
Nice.
have to wear one? Are they telling do the boys have to wear? Is this the headscarf thing?
I guess
Okay.
it's, equal opportunity.
But
you know.
You
Glazov,
can't do that.
but Glazov gang members, the way the left is slanting this and the Muslim Brotherhood slants it is, that Muslims are the new black people of Jim Crow South. They're being oppressed. This is the same as racism during the worst days of American racism. They're,
Yeah.
and how they slant it, they're the new Palestinians, even though we know historically that Israel's not really the oppressor of the quote-unquote Palestinians, but the Palestinian Authority is, but that's another issue, and the Arab world is. But what I'm getting to is the hijab stands for hatred and discrimination.
Yeah.
In the Islamic world. When we see a hijab, there's a political statement. It means that the kafir who is not wearing a hijab is dirty and unclean. So there's a political component here which we've been blinded to.
And it's oppression.
Yeah.
It is.
Yes,
Excuse
absolutely.
me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember during the civil rights debate black people cutting people's heads off and killing them. I don't remember that, So how they relate those two things, I don't quite understand.
Yeah.
But when you look at people going to school, students going to school in a hijab, which means that's oppressing women, basically. That's subservient. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. And whoever this was, wasn't it a member of CARE? An
Right,
intern
this
for
kid,
CARE?
he's like an intern for somebody who at CARE.
Right.
Which is a
yeah.
Muslim
Right.
Brotherhood
C-
front.
Right,
CAIR
exactly.
CARE.
Well, CARE is a
Exactly.
Muslim Brotherhood front. I'm also so grateful that you brought that up, Morgan, because how many women have been brutalized and raped and murdered and maimed and mutilated and had acid thrown in their face for not wearing a hijab?
Yeah, and did they talk
And that's
about that?
over- yeah.
Did they talk about
Okay,
that?
Tommy,
I'm
go
sure
ahead.
not.
Speaking of the Sharia and the hijab and making a beautiful political statement. I have to give kudos to Michelle Obama, which also Ted Cruz today gave the same kudos.
Right. That's right.
Michelle
you guys
Obama
can't pronounce anything. He doesn't know how to say hijab. You don't know how to say kudos. But go ahead.
Kudos. All right? The First Lady, Michelle Obama, was at the funeral of the King of Saudi Arabia, who recently died. The very, very epicenter of Wahhabi Islam, the place that exports Sharia law. That is their main export, is Islam and Sharia law. She refused to wear a hijab. And for those who think that the Sharia is compatible with Western values, there was also another illustration of women under the Sharia. During the procession, as the leaders of Saudi Arabia paraded by the president and the first lady to shake hands, they shook hands with the president and in every sense of the word ignored Michelle Obama. Not only did they not shake hands with her, they were looking at the president, and when they stepped to Michelle Obama, they turned away, completely ignoring her, completely devaluing her presence there. That is a perfect illustration of women under the Sharia. And so how can you see that and say, well, the Sharia is compatible with Western values? Yeah. They did not even acknowledge the existence of the First Lady. Each Saudi leader, as he looked at Obama and shook hands, he turned his head away from Michelle Obama completely, in every sense of the word, ignoring her.
Tommy, thank you for bringing up an important point. I think something positive should be said about Michelle not wearing the hijab like many do when they go there. That was a positive thing. But you know, it's incredible, this respect that they're paying to the Saudi king and to the Saudis, etc. When this is one of the most brutal regimes in the world.
Yeah, but
the way that they treat their minorities and their workers, etc. But something I thought about the way Michelle was treated while they went on this, you know, I was thinking about how fellow travelers ultimately get brutalized by the entities that they worship, because in many respects, Obama and Michelle Obama, they're on the side of the left, they're on the side of the brotherhood, and then all of a sudden they go there and then they get this treatment. So it's a little bit how the Stalinists...
They're getting a tremendous amount of flack from the Islamic apologists and from CARE for the exact opposite. CARE and all the other apologists are saying that it was a sign of complete disrespect not to wear a hijab there.
Michael?
Hey, I tell you what, when George W. was over there, his old lady didn't wear a hijabi. She like...
it's
right.
hijab.
Hijab. She didn't wear one. You don't do that. I think it's awesome. Good for Michelle Obama.
Yeah,
Good for absolutely. Hey, that's awesome. Sorry about your loss, but I ain't touching the do. I worked on this hair all night. I slept on a plane last night, buddy. This is a black woman's hair.
I'm covering that up. That's right.
Okay,
that's right.
Morgan?
Listen, I'll tell you something. When you said that he didn't look at her and completely ignored her, that's how a conservative feels in Hollywood.
Wow. Excellent.
That's a producer that goes, oh yeah, no.
Okay, excellent. On the same theme, Governor Bobby Jindal, Republican from Louisiana, has made some pretty brave statements lately. And he was talking about how Islamic immigration is very much an invasion of the United States rather than, it's a colonization, it's an invasion rather than just immigration, because a lot of Muslim immigrants are not integrating, they're not assimilating, but bringing their own form of Sharia here. He's taken quite a bit of flack for that, but I think he's a brave truth teller. Your thoughts on this, Tommy?
Well, in that same clip, the governor of Louisiana, right, Jindal, he also said, in the end, our God wins. In the end, we win. In the end, our God wins. And that, for him, that was a very bold statement. For anyone, that's a very bold statement. Right. But I want to say to the governor, respectfully, you should have more compassion for the mullahs. Because can you imagine the pressure? On one hand, you have Christianity. And the God of Christianity is loving, is forgiving, is tolerant, is ever patient. The gospel says, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them who despitefully use you. And not only that, Christianity welcomes criticism. Thessalonians 5:20 and 21 says, don't take our word for it, but question what we say, question what they say, question what everyone says, and then keep the good, forsake the evil. You have Christianity on one hand who believes that and welcomes criticism because, according to Christianity, Jesus Christ is like the sun. You can rail against the sun. You can deny the sun's existence, and it's still there. And it has been there for billions of years, and even according to Stephen Hawking, in the universe in a nutshell, it's still going to be there for a few billion more years. Constant. So you should have compassion for the mullahs, because can you imagine the pressure that they are under? They obviously believe. And I'm not stating this as a fact. I'm stating as a fact of what they believe. They believe that they can allow no criticism of Islam. They can allow no questioning of Islam. Any criticism or any questioning must be severely punished. So obviously you believe that Islam is a house of cards. That even the slightest pressure, even the slightest question, even the slightest ray of truth, this mosque of cards will crumble in, will fall in on you because you believe. I'm not saying that it is. I'm saying that it is a fact that that's how you believe, because you allow no questioning, you allow no criticism whatsoever, because you think even a little cartoon will cave the whole thing in. And Christianity, on the other side, Christians look at cartoons about Jesus every day and we laugh. We think it's funny.
Or
so
maybe
can you imagine?
I'm a Christian. I might not laugh at, I don't even want to say the term, but it's when they had the crucifix in the urine. The thing. Yeah. I don't laugh, but yes, we don't go out and kill someone. We're still confident in our faith.
The very basis of Christianity
yeah.
is if you don't like the Mapplethorpe thing and you don't like the crucifix in the urine, you don't go see it.
Okay,
but
Tommy.
Wait. I have another point, which is very important. Well, then you have Jesus Christ and the prodigal son. If someone wants to leave, go. You'll be back. And that Christianity, they always come back. However, the pressure of the mullahs, they must threaten any apostate with death, because obviously, if you believe that apostates should be killed, then you believe that no one in their right mind would ever come back. You believe that no one under their free will would ever serve Islam, because you punish apostates by death. Christianity says, leave, you'll be back, and they always come back.
Thank you, Tommy. Very powerful point.
It's a good thing he brought the service bunny.
Yes.
He makes a really good point, though, because if you think about that and you wonder, I hear these pundits all the time, and they're always saying, why doesn't the Muslim community say anything? Why don't they speak out? Why don't they speak out against this? It's because of what you said.
Yes.
It's fear. It's because they dare not say anything. Even the leaders of the religion, even the leaders of the mosques, they don't come out and say anything. And why is that? Why is that?
Well, can you imagine the pressure of believing your religion is a house of cards?
And going to fall.
And going to fall at
One
any
second.
Yeah.
I see wisdom in Michael's eyes. He's going to tell us something very wise in response to a very profound commentary by Tommy and Morgan. Go ahead.
Oh, I just think that moderate Islam just doesn't matter. I mean, they don't need to speak up. Do whatever. Like, where were the moderate Nazis? Where were the, when Pol Pot was killing, where the moderates ultimately don't matter, right? So you say, how many Muslims are there in the world, right? People practice, there are 150 million, a billion,
a lot of
whatever.
them, yes.
And then so let's say only 8% of those people want to end the rest of our existence. You're millions and millions of people.
That's a lot of people. Yeah.
So the whole, where are the moderates? Hey, where are the people who are trying to kill us?
On that point, though, I have people that I love dearly who are full-blooded Germans, and because I hate the ideology of Nazism does not mean that I hate Germans.
Right.
And also because I don't like the ideology of Islam, the same way that because I hate the ideology of Nazism, that doesn't mean I don't hate that doesn't mean that I hate Germans. I love Germans. Right. I also love the Persian people. I love the Egyptian people. I love the Arab people. One of the greatest cultures ever to exist on this planet, which ironically Islam tries to take credit for, which is a lie, is the Persian culture. They brought us so many things. They brought us advanced mathematics. The kingdom of Nebuchadnezzar was not Muslim, and they brought us more advances than even the great culture of Egypt, which is also Arab.
Thank you, Tommy. And maybe that's why the Glazov gang is so successful, because there are some Persians behind the scenes that make this show so great.
Amazing!
And I'd like to thank them.
Get out your umbrellas.
Okay.
Some knowledge.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
this is our culture moment. Tommy Trudeau has launched a new show. Let's show you a clip of the first episode. It's just
You'll love
wild.
it. It's crazy.
It's just crazy. It's crazy and wild. Let's go to it.
Insightful.
Welcome to Politics Tonight with Tommy Trudeau. That's me. With me, as always, is my esteemed panel of experts. Allow me to introduce them. You may know him from his books, Mr. Teddy, an esteemed author and authority on Jamie Glazov. A rabbit who needs no introduction, Mr. Snugglebun, who knows all about Jamie Glazov. And one of the wisest individuals in the entire universe, Mr. Monkey. Welcome, honored guests, to Politics Tonight with Tommy Trudeau. Well, that about does it for our... What, Ma? Oh, for crying out loud. You ruined my show, Ma. Yes, I'll be up. For crying out, it's my basement down here, Ma. Why do you have to ruin everything? I'm in the big time now. Gotta ruin everything for me, Ma. Well, that about does it for Politics Tonight with Tommy Trudeau. Thank you to my esteemed guests. Join us next week when we discuss more about Jamie Glazov.
Okay, look, I don't mean to be rude, Tommy. I mean, I think you need some, I think maybe some character development. I think you need a new studio. What was the purpose
That's
of
just
that?
like you to pee all over my dreams. When I try to get, he does this every time. When
Well,
I
what's
try
the
to
point
have
of it?
something, when I try to do something, here's Glazov and he pees all over it.
No.
You do that every time, Glazov.
Tommy.
Every dream. Remember when I said I wanted to be on the German schnitzel eating
Okay,
team?
but what was the
because
point
a
of
good
the show?
crispy schnitzel.
What's the point
what
of the-
better team to be on? And
What?
you peed all over that.
Tommy,
you
what's
peed
the-
on my schnitzel.
Tommy, what's
You
the
peed
point
on
of the
my
show? What was
schnitzel.
the point of the show?
The point is this. It's pure Shakespeare, baby. King Lear. It is. Okay. All
Why-
you Shakespeare fans, you got to agree with me.
Wow.
Pure King
Okay,
Lear. Pure
Tommy.
Kurosawa and the Fool. Guess what? The fool is the only one, just like in Ron in King Lear, the fool is the only one who has the freedom to speak the truth.
Okay,
because
Tommy.
you can't get mad at him.
Okay,
He's
fine,
a fool.
fine.
He's a fool. It's pure Shakespeare,
Tommy,
baby.
why
It's
didn't
pure
okay,
Shakespeare.
fine, Tommy.
Am I
Why,
right?
why didn't you
Shakespeare
at
fans?
least
Huh?
why didn't you at least tell your mom that you were filming when she interrupted the show? But
Because
let's-
my mom ruins everything
Okay.
for me. She's very nice and she loves me, but she doesn't know when to just let me film. For crying out loud, I'm now 51. I've been living in in the basement now for 51
Okay,
years.
okay, thank
I
you.
love it.
Tommy, thank
I love
you.
it.
Michael, as somebody that hosts your own show, which is a
Yeah.
great show, are you a little bit threatened or feel defensive that this new blockbuster
I
show
never
is coming?
judge anything by the pilot.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Episode 1, we're just establishing the reality. Episode 2.
Episode 2.
Boom.
That's it.
Out of the gates. Fast.
That's it.
Okay, but were you a little
Clever editing. Now, granted, I didn't watch it in 3D like they did at Sony. Like in Sony, they had it in the THX with the glasses. I just watched
My
it on
show
like
was
a-
even approved
Okay.
by Kim Jong-un.
Okay.
Oh my
Okay, just
gosh.
wait. Michael,
Oh, no.
what was one redeeming thing about the pilot?
the pilot.
Yeah, of his show.
The characters. I just like meeting the characters. I like being in the world. I like Mr. Snugglebun. I like the other stuffed animals.
Oh, I think
I
that's great.
I like the mother who appeared without making a sound.
Right.
I
You
know.
didn't even hear her
Laugh.
voice.
No, you didn't
Just
hear her.
laugh.
That's
Just
right.
go ahead and
Okay.
laugh.
You didn't hear her,
Right.
but you knew she was
Yeah,
there. Right?
right. You know,
Don't we
maybe,
all have that?
Yeah, maybe
That's
I missed
it.
this. Morgan, what did you think?
I was completely, honestly, I was sitting there watching this because
Right.
I had no idea what to expect, no idea at all. And I hear the words Jamie Glazov come
Right.
out of his mouth, and I went,
Yeah.
what? What? Wait a minute, what?
So you think that there's some potential
I
to the
think
show?
I'm telling you, it's going to be the next big thing.
I can die now
Seriously,
because-
it's going to be the next big thing.
Okay.
Someone I had a huge crush on, I used to watch every episode of Dallas, says my show is cool.
Yes,
I
the
like
next
that.
big thing.
Okay.
Mark my words.
Okay, fantastic. Tommy, good luck with the episode 2. And
You
get
don't
the
mean
show.
that.
Okay.
I can't wait to see it.
Let's
Thank
move forward.
You can.
We had a fascinating discussion before the show, and my esteemed colleagues and guests brought up some really scary things. Why don't we talk about that a little bit? Michael, why don't you bring up some of the things you're concerned with in the news right now? You were talking about a couple things before the show.
Oh, the thing that really has me going on now is this. I read this book, Stonewalled, by Cheryl Atkinson, the investigative journalist for CBS, and it just seems like the government, the Obama administration, has this fantastic recipe to make incredible stories just seem like the ravings of a lunatic. And to me, when the federal government is breaking into and hacking CBS News reporters and the CBS Evening News into their computer system and getting information and hacking into computers of reporters, that's bizarre. It's really 1984 stuff. It's real Big Brother.
Yeah.
We will control what you report. We will control what is news. And when you don't have, that used to be the great thing about the American culture. You had the press watching out.
right.
You know, who's watching the watchers? Well, the press is watching, and the Congress will watch the president will watch the. And right now, if you just can't have when the federal government is in power like that and just telling reporters, okay, you're out of there. We're just going to hack into you. That's really, really frightening stuff.
And Morgan, you wrote a very profound piece in WorldNet Daily recently. Why you're embarrassed you're embarrassed for your country.
My country,
And
yes.
this is something connected to your
It
embarrassment?
is, but I just laid out everything within the past since last summer, actually, starting with Ferguson and continuing on with that, and then all of the craziness that's been going on, all of the hostage swaps for terrorists, all of this kind of thing that makes absolutely no sense, and then the disrespecting of Benjamin Netanyahu and having an interview with a YouTube sensation who swims around in Fruit Loops. I mean, this, to me, it just defies belief. And I'm so embarrassed. And I was so embarrassed when John Kerry went to France and took James Taylor to sing You've Got a Friend.
Yeah, that was weird.
I wanted to just like crawl under a rock somewhere.
Yeah.
But it is absolutely unbelievable. And talking about your Cheryl Atkinson thing, this Benghazi thing, what happened to the story, you guys, about Cheryl Mills in the basement when they were going through documents and saying, okay, we don't want this, we don't want that to go. Whatever happened to that story?
Yeah.
It just dropped and dried up, and nobody said anything about it. And now they're looking for the documents. They're trying to, I mean, I know Trey Gowdy, he's out there trying to get more documents.
And
But this whole story about Cheryl Mills on a Sunday afternoon in the basement of the State Department going through and saying, no, we don't want that, that's bad, no, no. Where are the reporters on this? Cheryl Atkinson was the only one.
Yeah. The reporters don't want to make the Obama administration look bad.
And that's definitely one of it. Do you think some of them are scared?
Maybe
After
you're,
reading our book, maybe.
You're afraid of looking like a racist, I guess, if you criticize Obama. But it's just beyond belief. Yeah. It's like they hacked into that Fox News reporter. They hacked into his.
Rosen.
James Rosen. Like, all right, well, they hacked into him. They hacked his parents, whatever. But he's a Fox News nut job. Get out of him. So I can understand journalists turning their backs on Rosen. Now Cheryl Atkinson, CBS Evening News. Yeah. So now they're going, well, she's a conservative too. She's like in the pocket. It's crazy.
Because she was going after Benghazi, something that they are desperate to hide. Because what about Petraeus? What about him? I want to know the story behind that.
And Gowdy's getting upset.
I want to know.
Tommy, are you feeling ignored a little bit?
No.
Just a sec, go ahead.
Well, the brilliant thing that Cheryl did is like, remember when Obama killed Osama bin Laden?
Okay.
Like that's how it was like he did it, and they had that photograph, and everybody's in the Situation Room, and they're all this is the moment, check us out. They have a White House photographer who's constantly photographing everything. If the president's in the Oval Office, I'll get a couple shots. Oh, constantly. So Cheryl Atkinson of CBS News, when she couldn't get anything, she goes, "Hey, what was the White House photographer? What kind of photos did he take that day? Could I look at those?" And the White House photographer said, "Oh, sure. Let me just run it up the flagpole." And then suddenly the White House goes, "No. There were no photographs taken that day."
Tommy?
But the president.
Well, on this, I think one of the deepest ironies of this whole episode is I like the president. I voted for the president. I am for many of his programs. And the most ironic thing is the moment I poke a little fun at him in a video in 2012, I get audited. I was never audited before. I'm still in that audit. Isn't that ironic? I voted for him. I still like him. I still support many of his programs. But the
Are you doing this so you're not audited anymore?
Oh my gosh.
I hope so.
Wow.
You're like Salman Rushdie trying to turn Islam to get Khomeini off your
But I
back.
will say this, okay? The administration made the same mistake with Benghazi that the Richard Nixon administration made with Watergate.
Cover up.
If Richard Nixon would have, because he didn't have anything to do with Watergate. If he would have came out and said, listen, there was this break-in, I take full responsibility for it, it was a huge just cluster, you know what. Well, if the Obama administration would have said, listen, we mishandled Benghazi, we're doing the best we can to fix this situation, but what they're doing is trying to cover it up, just like Richard Nixon tried to cover up Watergate.
Thank you. Our time is up. Michael Loftus, please tell our viewers where they can watch The Flip Side with Michael Loftus.
Here's what you need to do. Go to the flipsideshow.com. There's a channel finder. You click on your state, we'll hook you up with a channel. Theflipsideshow.com. And we're on television.
And and after that or before that, they should watch Glazov. Right?
They should watch the Glazov game.
They should watch the Glazov game.
And then this Christmas, they should play the Glazov game.
The Glazov game. We're going to tell you all about it soon. Just don't tell them the details yet. Morgan, and tell us a little bit before we go, what have you been up to and what would you like the viewers to know?
Well, I have a book out with two lovely ladies called What Women Really Want. And you can
Which is
get
what
it.
Michael knows all about.
That's right, and you can get it on Amazon.com. But tune into politichicks.com, and you'll see all kinds of articles and news reports and a lot of clips from the Glazov gang. So, yeah, we're all over the place.
Excellent. And Tommy?
Yay.
Well, the reviews on politics tonight are in. To quote Newsweek, terrible. To quote Wired Magazine, probably the worst thing on the internet. So we're getting out there, we're getting the message across. For instance, the Miami Herald said things this bad never even make it on the internet. So we're very proud.
But see, I'm the only one who counts.
Yeah, and
Yes, you are.
See?
yeah, Morgan, like
I'm the
and
only
Michael,
one who
you
counts.
thought that there was.
I
You like
loved
the
it. And there's another review. The Chicago Tribune said, "Huh?"
Tommy Trudeau.
I thought that was a positive review.
Tommy Trudeau, Morgan Brittany, Michael Loftus, thank you for joining the Glazov game. And we'll be back next week. Good night.